Seven more.
Oh, she's selling me. Right, go. Are you feeling better? So much better. Now I'm going to put simple and best and get you all in your seats, but everybody's been really good just now sitting in their seats. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask a wee favour. I'm going to ask for a couple of dolly dealers to help me to do the raffles. I just have to tear these ones up. They have to be done like that. Don't want anybody to get disadvantaged. Sorry about this, we're ready. I need a couple of dolly dealers. Do you know what a dolly dealer is? Somebody pretty to help me put the catalogues in. Pretty one. Up you come, up you come. Up you come, Colin. Come on. Oh, there. No, you don't do them. What you're doing is you're giving it the prizes. Oh, excellent. You're the worker, Jenny. Loads and loads of catalogues. We made a little faux pas that there is only one lot of bags and order forms. And you know how I like to blame people, so we can blame Michael for that one. I had to blame somebody, Michael. I know it was my fault. I didn't mind. So I've got loads of catalogues for the raffle. And so we're dolly dealers here will help. And I'm just going to select them myself. I've got another speed of the top first. I'm running that top. I like everybody to get the same opportunity. Then here we go. First number is it's either a 6 or a 9. Does the 9 go at the top or the bottom? Is that a 6? Number 6, green. Michael, she didn't make you buy it up, did she?
Winner.
Yay! There you are. And we have got a white one here. 349. Yay! Back here on the back there. Maybe for the benefit of, I'm just going to pull it strips because that gives you a fighting chance. Before 760, 480. There we go. Well done, Janet.
I'll have to get to my next side.
360, 310. Yay, good job. Number 40 green. 40 green. 40 green. Cheryl, well done. Here's another one strip. The strips are getting as big a chance as anybody else because they're coming in my hand close to me. 261 to 265. Yeah! some green. This is a takeover. It's a takeover.
Trish again.
Is there anything left?
Is it just that, or there's
Just
all the
one each, I'm afraid. And actually, what we will do is one lucky person will get order forms in the bag. 36 green. There's a pack under here. There's a pack under here that somebody can run. There we go, Cheryl. We need to get some different winners here. I didn't mean that badly to the winners. I wish you all the best. So we want to get some different numbers here. 15 green. Me. Is this the last one? You can either have the catalogs that's keeping the projector at the right height, or the plastic bags and the order forms which are in rare supply. Okay. And then you can negotiate at the end of people who want to buy them off you. And then what we've got is the last one for the catalogs that's keeping the projector up. And it's 276 to 280. Thank you very much for calling dealers. Richard, you're the nicest dolly dealer I've had for a while, son. I'm only kidding, Janet. You were much more beautiful. I'm only kidding, folks. You know me. I always say the wrong thing. Especially when I'm being recorded. Right, loads of recognition today. I'd like to ask Mr. Michael Carr, if he wouldn't mind, joining me to help me with this recognition. Jane, that little bag that you opened earlier, I don't know what you did with it. I was lying beside the other. No, it's in your mouth put together. No, they're all sitting there. Is it in a bag? Okay. That's it. I'll have to divide them. And I need to find my jacket because I've got you. Sorry, I was organised. We're ready. Right, we're going to do some recognition. Well-earned recognition. There's going to be a lot of it. I need my little sheets. Our recognition is on here. I'm super organised today. Over this side, we're going to do both cameras. This one. I'll get the right place, Michael. Well, this started in the right place. I'm sorry. What we'll do is we'll do the BMK stars from the sheets here, because the rest will come flowing on the list. This is for our guest today. So if you want to put up a wee bit, I can shout above that, no problem. Right, here's our BMK stars. What I'd like you to do is when you hear your name, if you're here, come up. Make sure that you give everybody a round of applause, but maybe wait until the end because we're shouting out their name.
I know there's another one, I'd be kidding.
Is that for you? Is that for you? When you see your names come up, oh, this is what we've got, Michael, for you to give our stars. Again, it goes through. And Michael is going to sign them for you later. Because you didn't sign them. I'm going to make you put them. I'm going to keep them all on the chairs. Stars. It was Jane White's idea, Michael, so that is what I need. Okay. And you write the name on the just put it on the next to the last one. Anyway, have a wee queue up for the sign up. I'm sorry. Right, we then please start with Roslyn and Lisa Todd the same. Stay up here, guys. Next lecture and Cheryl Woodcock.
Oh, no.
100,000, 100 certificates, 52, we go to have one, we'll get one back. I'm kidding. Right, this is our team recognition. I'm just going to go through the list. The team line group recognition. We had, and I'm going to recognise people who are not at these guys. We had 90 Diva MK stars. If you hear your name, and I will this is names on it. That's just one of the teams out. You must be listening again.
We need to get everybody that way, else we'll not get the camera.
Oh, yes, guys, could you come over here because we want to see you on camera. Your beautiful wee faces.
Right.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. Right, just come up when you hear your name. First, and you might not, now this is the whole 90. So I'm just going to recognise the people in the 18 Rhino group. Who's watching live? Hi, 18 Rhino group. Here's your recognition coming up. Denise Jagger, Stephen Kimball, Robert Ludlow. Am I too late now? Peter Chase, Robert Bushell. I'm going to be quick here. Gemma Muriel Weber. There's hundreds. Michelle, Michael, sorry, Michael, Bernie, Sean and Elizabeth McCrugan, Fiona Waddington and Harry Hunter, who's not managed to be here today. Another certificate for Harry. Harry, somebody with the camera as well for the photographs, be ready. Harry Hunter, Janet Downey. Well done, Janet. Well done. People from right. John Renton. Well done, John. Well done, John. Congratulations. David Cochran. Well done, David. They're a superstar badge. Oh, David James, sorry, John Johnston. Couldn't be here today. James Elwood, couldn't be here today. Frank Devine. So you have to go back to the
Yes.
Happy Hare! Let's go to the somebody else. One Matthew. I took away a fence there. Then we're going Mary Stewart, still here today, we Mary, goodbye. And Hillis, and hiya. Leanne, well done. Graham Wan, well done, Graham. Well done, Graham, well done. Graham Wan, who else next? There's so many folks. Katrina and John McDonald couldn't be here today. You said you were coming to me. Duncan McIntyre is Duncan here today. Duncan's here. I thought Duncan was here. Jackie Hand, June McLeod. Again, I thought they were coming. You said you were coming. Trisha Coyle. You deserve it. Oops, here, there's more. Carol Freeman, well done, Carol. She wanted to come, she's in Bristol. Patrick Feeney, Jonathan Farmer, oh my goodness, there's loads. Paula Philby, Joseph and Anton McGinty, there's more folks. Richard and John Fallowfield, maybe that's a bad idea. Raymond Ferger, Kevin Ray, Jackie Horgan. Tell me when we get nearly 60, John Alive. Thomas Benjamin, Neil and Deborah Bennett, Diane Goulden, Joseph Jersey, Doc McKillen, hi Doc, Michael Stephen Downs. This is amazing. Gareth Thaw, Peter James Savage, Peter Abrahams, Sue Marshall, Heather Herring, Kathleen Carolan, Jim Monaghan, Kathleen Eskin, Mary Mullins, how you be Mary? Kelly Nash, Lynette Zapp, Linda Cahill. Does everybody in the room recognise Rose Francis?
No, no.
Jeff and Jerry He's in Livingston, he couldn't come in for a wee cup of tea. Stephen Smith, Ian Abrahams, Alan Henley, Laura Cleland, Frederick Fairclough, we're not going to have enough time for the training, Jerome Hatley, Anthony Summers and Amanda Massey, who thought that this one, Eddie Parnell, Clifford Halls, Clive and Dorothy Britton, Tracy and Kirk Hatton. Alan Pheasant, sorry, I'm not Pheasant. Morris Ralph, really there, folks, Dean Rothwell, Tracy Bell, Carmel, sorry, Ireland. The Irish names of his band, which is Scottish to pronounce. Sue Baines, Clifford Parker, I've got some more superstars coming up. Michelle Shute, Pamela O'Connor, Claire McAnally, I've got the name wrong, Mel Hilly, Bernie Maloney, Kathleen Marrow, Deborah Bennett, I mean, has anybody been counting? Heather Herron, I think she's been up twice, so that makes me 9. I've missed some out then. John Poole, Sam Webb, I've missed somebody out, Jeffrey Morgan, Anne Cole, Amanda Massey, is there anybody else in the room? Pete Rowe,
Yes.
Sasha Hogan, Garrett O'Shea, and that's it.
We're just getting out of the way.
All right, see you. Did you get it? Everybody, woo! Right, the next certificate that we have, the next certificates, and they may not be in the right order here. And they're a little bit small. We've got some certificates now. What we do? It's a superstar next as well. We need to be organised here. Right, what we introduced. Listen, Jane, that's really disrespectful.
Oh!
I wish I could turn your camera around. She's taking pictures of superstars and I'm in the middle of a training and recognition. Right, what we have here, we decided to introduce the 18 Eva MK Silver Star for retail. He's going to get his name back, yes, so it definitely is. £1,000 a month retail, which is really what we're hoping that the next one, lots of people will be doing. But there's 10, you'd be glad to say there's no 90. I've got 90, might as well be got 92,000, but there's no 90 today. 10 today. 10 today, these are the silver stars. So let's have you up here, starting with. Oh, that should be Mary Mullins. I don't know if she's not here today, but that should say Mary Mullins. I don't know where your second name disappeared to. Jonathan Ford! What's your hat? What's your hat? in order. Michael, you say nothing there. You say nothing there, Michael. Sorry, Michael, you don't want to get it. I hate to see you in sunset.
No, I you need him to start.
John Redden! Next one, and it's Janet Daly! There you go, Janet. Harry Hunter's not here, but well done, Harry. Mike Bernie's down south. Bill James Savage, and this season really 2,000 pounds here. So, Jeff and Jenny Well done. I'll give them both to the good lady. Well done, guys. Many mothers of the Ireland, Kurt and Stacey Hanson. Well done, Darren. And now, well done, it's stars. Thank goodness. Some of the couples can get. Well, back, we'll do those separate. Actually, we've missed out Stephen Janet Reese, because we've got your other one, we took 1,000. That's this. Oh, my God. People got married. Janet Lyle and Steve Reese. And you don't have your certificate now, it's a 4-part error. But we've got your 2,000 one. That becomes and you've got your new staff, so you can be the only one to get a star. Do you need to stay for the phone?
No, that's for the. No, that's not for there. This is a recording.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. It's doing that.
The camera. Technology is very good to go up there.
That's it.
Right, can we get a bit? Did we get a photograph of this now? Please come a bit closer for the photograph. Can I get in it too?
There we go.
Is it that warm in here? You need bigger, louder noise. The guy in this one line, I'm not hearing it very loud, so we need lots of noise. Now the next one. He just takes a video on his own market. All right, I'm not just even near my one yet. You've still got loads of superstars. But yeah, you can play that one for this, because this is a gold star, and there's only one gold star for the £2,000 retail, the wee gold pin, and it's Janet Lyle, Janet Lyle, Steve Reese. I'm just being ready to wedding. Thank you very much. Well done, Dan and Steve. Right, what have we got now? Is it the premiers?
Premiers, yes.
Premiers. We don't have your certificates yet, and I know I like to blame. So I'll blame Michael. But it's still come up for your well-earned recognition. We've also got on guest today, Adele and John Hewitt. Come and get your recognition. I'm behind. Congratulations, well done. Congratulations, well done. Just look through that house.
There we go.
Oh, there's three coming, three. I forgot. I'm going to wee chance. There's 6 BMK Terriers and there's 18 by my book. As you know, two are here today, but let's recognise Rob and Mariana Grunet Branch. And we've got John Webb. Steve and Jackie Ellis. Well done, Jackie and Steve. You and Tony McDonald. Hi guys, well done guys. Lee Conlon. Well done Lee. Janet Lyle and Steve Lee. And we'll get the pictures taken and then we'll go to the people. We've got testimonials coming up after this. A couple of these testimonials. Well done, guys. And I am melting. Right, it's roasting up for him, just me, Matthew. Right, this is our start. There's only 15 I think, or 16. I hope I'm not wrong here, but I'm good at this. It's not like you back as well now. And good advice, there's only 15 or 16 bronze tenures in BNK. Two of them here today, I'm so very, very proud. Oh, there's 3 in our team. Abigail can't be here today. She sends her apologies. She's live, so Sophie Abigail's name comes up first. Hey, because I'm melting. Jimmy Janeway! Well done. Did you get your rhinos? Now we used to have gold rhinos, so what was? Well, we'll know your plan. I'm going to go get the value. Somebody did go and get the gold rhinos value. They said they're only worth £1. Well, they're not real gold, they're not real platinum. It's a symbol of success. And when you get to the bronze premier level, you will get your platinum rhino. And to stand out, well done, these guys. What's your photograph?
I'm a bit rusty with this recognition thing. It's been a while. So, our of course, in our organisation, we've really been on the sales front for a handful of weeks, only our first period, and we already have huge recognition like you've already seen, and that's throughout the entire organisation. And that's testimony to a handful of amazing leaders that have followed through and have supported and encouraged everybody. And of course, we have one of those, we have many leaders in this room, but we have one of those higher levels of recognition here. Not that every level.
Could you shout these ones for me, because I forgot them?
Yes, sure. I'm a bit rusty at
Bronze,
recognition, but yes.
just to get used to it, Michael.
Yes, so what have we got?
Bronze Premier Plus, 2 bronze premiers, and I forgot, so sorry guys.
Andy and Claire Stevenson, congratulations.
And
of course, the one and only Mr. Botwell. At the level of gold premier, will you please put your hands together for the one and only Lee
Thank you, Tom. I see you sneaking up with that, but didn't see what you had in your wee hand. I was well hidden, by the way. That just, you know. Well, right.
We've lost it. No,
We've lost it. I must have
no,
pressed the
no,
wrong
no.
button. Thanks
Right.
to the fantastic team. You are amazing! But keep coming over, and we're going to be doubling that up soon, because we're going to be getting these 1,000 and 2,000 certificates. We're going to be doing our parties. We're going to get a wee testimonial for Frank here. He's going to talk about online. There's a team turnover of just about 66,000. So well done, everybody. That's absolutely fantastic. Very proud of everybody. Before we go on to our wonderful managing director, just a couple of testimonials. We're going to start with Frank. And I'm not going to say nothing, Frank, because you know you can stand up there and don't be shy. Have I got to do the clickers for you, no?
No. Right. Well, God, most of the things have already been said this morning. I think tonight's been training on tonight. For those, that's what we all used to have. Those who don't know me, remember all that with the testimonials years ago. My background is I've actually worked for myself for 26 years now this month. And I initially joined my brother's company, way back in 1996 with my then wife. We ran the business up till about 2010, so she decided to leave me, and that caused a couple of complications. So at that time we were running a good culture business, had an excellent retail business and all that, etc. So I had to take a step back from it for a wee bit of time. I was glad to say that Tom and Kate, we had an excellent customer base, they took over it then, looked after it, and then a few years ago they were back in touch with us and we decided to give it a go then. One of the things that excited me then was the online stuff. But unfortunately, due to other commitments, I never really started with it. And then a lot of things happened in my life this year as well. And then obviously we had the challenges that came from the upset with Clean Easy. So it's only recently that I've got back into the swing of things. And I had time constraints, although Lynn thought I was saying I wasn't didn't want to do online stuff. It wasn't really I didn't want to do it, I just didn't have the time with it because other marketing agencies was taking up a lot of my time. Retail based, still got an excellent catalogue business. For instance, in the last 2 days, we're taking in £300 offers from that alone. So, but what I did decide to do through just plugging into the system, plugging into all the trainings and everything, the Wednesday webinars and all that. I seen how to do it and decided it was time to make the time to do it. So although I hadn't done a lot, and Facebook got a Facebook version, I was definitely one of them. I've had a Facebook account since 2010, but I hardly used it. The only reason I did get one was because my daughter wanted to do more games and things on 2 accounts rather than 1. So it's only in the last year I've really even got to get for Facebook, let alone the shop on it. But the long and short of it was just kept plugging away at it in the last month. In the first few days, even first few weeks, didn't seem to a lot was happening, but I just kept doing it. And then suddenly, within the space, I think it was 2 days, we had £500 orders. Most of for tartan bedding, which was Michael knows we did have a few challenges with them. So whatever that's that bit, but that's a great positive. Let's not look at the fact we're running out of stock, let's look at the fact that we are running out of stock.
We oversold.
Exactly. So anyway, so I just kept plugging away at it, and as you see, I've achieved over £1,000 of sales in the last month. And unusually for me, I would normally do, say, 80% catalogue stuff, 20% online if I did. And this month, it was the other way around. So if you haven't done a lot of Facebook selling, if you think you don't know much about it, just do it. I'm still learning, still picking it up, etc. The next step is obviously to take the sponsoring side on. But anyway,
Well done. I love that. The only thing that's sorry, guys, is they'd like it to be 100% catalogue and 100% online.
Yes. Possible.
You just did yes, love. I love my team. Anybody else was going to do a testimonial? Yes. Was it John? Yes. Is he still keen, John? Oh, he's smiling, like that's your John. He's still keen. John, take your place. John, does it mean look at the catalogues? Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you for doing this for me.
My name's John Knighton. Last month, my car was written off, and I'm the main carer for my mum. So still trying to him looking after his grandkids as well. I put in the catalogues 30 or 40 a week, and give them £1,000 a retail.
Wow.
And the main thing of the story is you look after the customers and they look after you.
That's brilliant. You can see with the very many groups working out there, he's looked after them. I could see he was talking to Janet there. He's talking to Janet because he said, I know you were saying was right. And Janet, you're going to do a wee one? Was it Janet, £1,000 certificate here? You can use your V card. And that is everybody that ask anybody else, because my memory's bad because in my night being an superstar. No, but everybody. Hi, I'm Janet. Most of my customer base is down through cataloguing because I don't drive either, so it's me and my wee trolley going round about the streets. My husband does help if his shift's allowed to take me to a nearby town to do that one, so we have to work that in through his shifts, but it's mostly all done with catalogues. I do the online Facebook very slightly because I don't really have the time. But for instance, I'm thinking I'm going to do it a lot more because I noticed that my ordinary people on my online, not on my online page, but on my Facebook page, were actually complaining of the great big spiders that they were getting in their houses. So I took a photograph of the spider repellent, put it on my Facebook page, and managed to sell 26 bottles. I care for my mum who's housebound and my aunt and uncle who are housebound, and they've both got dementia. So it's a hit and a miss what kind of day I'm having, how long I get to go round. So I basically just have to go round when the time's right. I just have to get out and do it when the time's right. But all my customers know my situation, so they're quite able. If I don't manage to find the catalogue, they know I'll pick it up the next day. So it's definitely customer relationship with your customers, I would say, is the key thing.
You're right.
These people on Facebook Live in front of this big huge audience, so you can give them a massive round of applause. What do I say about this gentleman? 19 years ago I met Michael and he was just a wee twinkle in the networking eye. Very, very shy. I know he says he's still shy now, and it is, but when he gets up on that stage he's like a torrential demon. You wouldn't know that. It's absolutely phenomenal. But I couldn't decide what to say because it's such a long history. But you know, we spoke last week and he said we were kids back then. I didn't actually think I was a kid back then, but I didn't know that on the Michael. Because you know, I suppose I was a kid, but we grew up in the network marketing business. Michael was the, what were you, assistant to Stuart. Stuart was a sales development manager, a regional sales, and you were assistant, and Stuart taught you everything you know. And he's grown through the business. And what I would say, the reason that Michael's going through the business was because of the help, the support, the passion, the work that he does for the field, right through when he was down at that wee twinkle in the networking eye, all the way through the business. Michael Cathcart has always been there for everybody, and wasn't he there for us when emotions? Wasn't he there for us when it really, really needed it? And I don't know what else to say because I might actually have a wee greet, and I didn't like greeting in public. Michael, we're so grateful for the work that you've done for VNK to give us back our business, because as far as I'm concerned, this is a relationship business and we've got the relationship business back. We love you loads. Come and do your stuff.
Thank you, really kind of you. I've done a couple of presentations since the event, and you know, I have to start with the same old line, and that is, you know, even being a writer, I couldn't have written the last year. Absolutely no chance whatsoever. It's been a hell of a roller coaster. It's still going on, but I kid you not, there's never going to be an opportunity to look back. There's only one way to go. And going back, let's go back those 18 years briefly. For 18 years, I worked in Clean Easy. And in my humble opinion, the greatest business that ever existed. And I loved every second of it. I will never say anything negative about that business. It made me, gave me everything I could possibly have wanted. And that was just on the corporate side. But it wasn't the corporate piece that gave me everything I wanted or everything that I needed. It was a support from the network. And if I wasn't involved in the network, I would not have stayed in that job for as long as I did. And in the last couple of years, you know, things didn't go as planned, as we all know. They didn't go as planned. I tried everything I possibly could to actually resolve the situation, but it comes a time when you have to draw the line. You have to draw it for legal reasons, and you have to draw it as the only director in the UK. You have to do that. So we ended up where we ended up, and you know, but it's a business that gave me everything. It taught me everything, and so that's the blame. It taught me everything I know. And you know what? That wasn't anything to do with the corporate position. I have to keep stressing that. It was never anything to do with the corporate side of the business. The corporate side was like any other corporate organization with its ups and downs and its pseudo-commercial pyramid system that all commercial organizations have. All my learning and all my connecting happened with the network. So when things went wrong 6 months ago and we tried everything we possibly could in those 6 months to come up with a solution, and of course you saw everything that was happening, it was all out there. I mean, within the network, people were doing everything that they needed to do. It came to the end of May or mid-May, and all I had, and I say all because one piece of this is absolutely huge. All I had was a small amount of money, an idea, and the support of an incredible bunch of people. And some of them were already involved in other things, but that didn't matter one jot. The support was there on two levels. One, because people wanted an element of Clean Easy back and that kind of business. The other was for me personally, because of course I fell. I fell as much as anybody else did. If it hurt you, it hurt me. You know, and in that fallen position, there's only two things you can do. You can just stay there and go backwards, or you can pick yourself up and go forward. And that was the only option for me. But that only happened because of individuals in this network's not a big enough word for me anymore. It's a family, it's a community, it's almost a country of people that really saw me through that phase. And we wouldn't have got, and we'll talk more about the new business in a moment, we wouldn't have got here if it wasn't for the support of those people. Many of them in this room now, you know, Lynn, you've supported me all along, but there's other individuals in this room that throughout everything that happened over the last 6 months, you supported us to get where we are. It's not been a one-man operation. I had a small amount of investment, some people that were interested, but in the middle, this big, encouraging tornado of force that really, irrespective of what else they were involved in or whatever they were doing, they still wanted that connection that only exists in this kind of business. And it does not exist anywhere else, not in any other network marketing company. I've never seen it. So we came to the end of May, just to give you a very brief history. We're now at the end of May. I have 4 people or 4 institutions and organizations that are interested in doing a collaboration. Well, 3 of them got dumped immediately. And the reason they got dumped immediately, because all 3 of them didn't believe in the catalog model. All 3 of them, because they wanted a piece of it. And the reason they wanted a piece of it was not because I had a handful of money. That wasn't enough to do anything. That wasn't enough to even buy a new tie, let alone anything else. But it was this premise that we have this passionate network of people that I used to sell us in those days, you will not find anywhere else in the world. So I've convinced these 4 organizations and investors that that's what I will bring to the party. And I always used to say, if you collaborate, we'll bring 500 people. I always used to sell it on 500 people. And even then, some of them were wary of how could you get 500 people that passionate and encouraged about business. And sometimes they wouldn't believe it, but I encouraged them. Anyway, 3 got dumped immediately because one way or another, they all said catalogs don't have their day. Catalogs are going to be done with. We're not really interested in them. There's no future in catalogs. Well, those conversations lasted less time than I've already been speaking up here. That's how quick those conversations are, because all I was interested in was a business that had online capability and future, but had to have a foundation of catalogs. How could I not? I'd spent 18, 19 years in the greatest catalog company in the country today. How could I not believe in catalogs? So anyway, the 4th people, or the other group of people, was of course a supplier of ours. And do you know what? I started that conversation on 4th of June. You've heard it 100 times now. Started that conversation at 10 o'clock on the 4th of June. By midday, we had decided between myself and the other 2 partners in the business that that was the goer. Why? Because when I said it's a catalog organization with huge online capability, they were up for it just like that. It wasn't, no, is it, or might be, right, when should we get the catalogs printed? That was how it went. Should we just start with a small amount of products because we need to get it out there quick? So within 2 hours, the deal was done and dusted because I'd met the right people who were, who were really wanting to work with this. And as I said, all I went with, the most powerful thing I went with was 500 enthusiastic people. And I said on day 1, when we launched, we didn't have a launch date that day. No launch date, no nothing. But when we launched, I believe 500 people will come on board. 500. So we based everything around 500 people. Come the 25th of June, we stood there and we gathered everybody and we stood around one screen like that. We pressed the button. As quick as we pressed the button, it crashed. And we said, oh, isn't that just typical? Calamity just follows me everywhere I go. It crashed. But when we got the number, it said almost 2,000 people had tried to log in right at that moment. We only had the capability of 1,000 because I'd sold it on 500. So my expectation was quadrupled. Now, you know business, many of you in business, you've done business before, you're part of this business. Big things in business like that don't ever happen. Expectations are never exceeded. They're always less than expected. You go for 500, you get 300, you're still happy. But we went for 5, and it was 2,000 day 1. And that is part of the history of the making of the business. The history goes back decades because we all came from this other family. That family didn't work out for whatever reason, so we had to do something. But that something only happened because of the encouragement of those people. If I hadn't had that, I wouldn't have been able to do any of that because I was broken as anybody else was. I lost everything like so many other people did, as well as various organizations still wanting to shoot you because you are the managing director and you have to be responsible in some way for what happened. I'll never wash my hands of that. I had some responsibility in there as well. So if it wasn't for that group of people, and some of them are in this room today, that every single day they would communicate in one way or another, every single day. And you know the power of that when you're down and you're trying to work something out? Because at that time I was unemployed, of course, because as soon as Cleansy went, I was unemployed just like that. And I'm unemployable. I was never going to get a job. I'm totally unemployable because I can't take instructions easily. Partly, not because I'm arrogant or ignorant, I just don't listen, as simple as that. I just don't listen to corporate, I was going to say, I don't listen to corporate speak. This kind of conversation I can have day in, day out. And that's why I love the network so much. It wasn't corporate. It wasn't that office culture. It was real people connecting in a real way. And that doesn't even happen in every single network. It doesn't. You see, I'm a true believer in meetings. I know Zooms and webinars all have their place, and I believe that. I totally believe that. But, you know, one of the people that were interested in projects going forward that were dumped didn't even believe in rooms of people. They said, no, it's all online now. It's all online. I don't know how you can connect online the way you can do here. There is no such thing like it. You know, we will have conferences. You will never catch me doing an online conference. It's never going to happen. So whereas some organizations are doing away with connecting with people, our business isn't like that. We are so unique. Clean Easy was so unique in the way that it connected with people. So unique that when I didn't even know which way to turn or what to do, it was that pure encouragement that encouraged me to move forward and keep going. I could not have managed that. So it was me and the 2,000 people, me and 2,000 people back there supporting and encouraging. And you know, as I said, there were people that I barely knew in Clean Easy, barely knew them, and they were supportive every single waking day, not even knowing what was going on or where we were at, every single day. And that does a lot for somebody. It really does, because like with so many other people in that situation, I'd lost my confidence with things. Of course I had. With all the battle, the corporate battle going on, which is still going on today, I'd lost confidence. I didn't think anything would happen. But when people give you that kind of power of encouragement, there's nothing like it. But that sums our business up. Clean Easy was the power of encouragement. We took people in Clean Easy that had no idea they could achieve anything, and gave them the confidence and the courage and the training to do it. Well, not we, the network did that. We didn't do that. We just ran a service. You know, it's like your presentation, Janet's presentation sums it up completely, you know, in the way that you were, and then how the business gave you confidence to go and reach for your dreams. Like you want to go to New Zealand, I'd be disappointed if you're not there within 24 months. Especially if it's a honeymoon, it'd be fantastic. So, the power of people, we've had one sales period, one tiny sales period. It was longer than a normal month because we threw a bit of August in. And yeah, of course there's challenges. You know, there's more challenges today than I had when I was working corporately. But you know what? It's very different now. It's a very different feeling. Because firstly, I expected every single challenge. We dived in without even a plan. There's no time to wait. I couldn't wait any longer. If I'd waited, I'd still be waiting today. You know, the encouragement of the people, even though they didn't know what was going on, really meant you've got to do something right now. And it was as quick as that. You know, to turn up at 10 o'clock and decide by 12 without even a plan, and then to launch that 5 days later, that was the busiest week I've ever had, and they've got busier ever since. But the challenges are there because we did just dive in, and you can't have a plan for just diving in. You make it up in the nicest possible way as you are going along. We are learning every single day. And if I ever catch the software developers, and I hope you're listening, if I ever get hold of the software developers, I will literally strangle them. But then, for the program we gave them, for what it had to achieve, was not a normal, everyday, get it off the shelf type of program. Custom built precisely the way I want it. Now, even now you've got 40% of its capability, the rest of it's hidden. I daren't reveal it. So every time I reveal something, it goes wrong. But nevertheless, it's got massive capability in it. And again, so the challenges are different, they're expected, and I expect them, but it's not about the challenges anymore. It's about having a plan to plow through them. And again, throughout the challenges, the response of the network's very different. Yes, there's frustration, but not the kind of frustration we used to have in the past. It's a very different kind of encouraging frustration, if that makes any sense. Not the kind, well, bugger you, I'm off. It's more like, I like to say that, I do apologize. I was brought up in Coventry. But, it's not the gun to your head type frustration. It really is, yes, we're frustrated, but we're all together in this. Because those 2,000 people that jumped in, and many more since then, are in this right from the beginning, going through every up and down that we're having, every roller coaster they're on with us. But that doesn't mean, just because we're learning as we're going along, that there isn't a long-term plan. I always had a long-term plan, whether it was with Clean Easy or whether it is now, very much a mid and long-term plan of where I want the business to go, and and how much I want this business to create the kind of people that can grow in it, that you can just recruit somebody who can start earning a small amount of money, but more importantly, that builds their confidence. Which is why, I came up with the tagline of growth, spirit, and partnership, and I will constantly go back to that until it bores the pants off you, because it's the ethos of the business. We're in this to grow. There's no doubt about that, and I wholeheartedly will support anybody who wants to grow. Anybody will find a way of supporting them. And then spirit. I've never known a spirit like it, from where we've come from to where we are today. The spirit is extraordinary. Such a huge, amazing connection of people. How can you not succeed when you have that kind of spirit? You take that spirit, put it into any organization in the world, they will be successful. They will be, even if you don't have the talent for what that business does. Spirit is so important, and we have it in abundance. There's lots of reasons for that. There are lots of reasons. Partly because some of us came from pain, partly because it's really just the good people involved. And that's not saying anything about the awful people, because of course there were no awful people. But my point is, all the people involved are the good people. And it's so brilliant to be surrounded by good people, which again was the ethos of our business before. You are always wanting to be surrounded by good people. That doesn't mean you can't be negative or you won't have negatives. Negatives can be a reality as well. But it's good people that are wholesome, constructive, and want to grow and feel the spirit. And that's very different. So growth, spirit, and partnership. I used to talk about partnership for many, many years, because the way I've just told you the story of how there's no way I could have done any of this if it hadn't been for those people that supported and encouraged, personally and professionally. It goes two ways. So why wouldn't I want those people and anybody else to be partners in the organization, to grow with us, to feel connected, to feel valued? This is why I was getting so annoyed a few months ago when I was hearing stories, and I don't want to talk about other networks and nothing. I don't really care what anybody does. I really don't. But what I do care about is that people who are getting pressured and maybe in some cases bullied for what they were doing. You have a free choice to do what the hell you want. And I will never, ever, ever look at it any differently. This is a partnership. You help me create it. Now you must be as valued as anybody else. And I mean, whether you've been in it sounds like you've been doing it for years. You've been in it from 3 months ago when we started, or you start now. Every individual must feel valued. must feel valued, and we must do that. It doesn't always feel like that, I do know that, but that is the ethos of the company, and I really want to stick with that. Those founding members, and many of you are in here today, I always said right from the beginning, the people, because I used to think it'd be 500, of course, those 500 that turned into 2,000 people, those founding members, they're going to mean a lot in this organization like anybody else's. Everybody's valued, but those people there, those founding members, are going to be vital to the organization. They haven't seen any difference yet, but I kid you not, as years and months go by, I will make sure that those people constantly get the recognition they deserve, because those founding members are exactly that. They are the founding members of a brand new organization, an organization that took its ethos from a previous organization. The ethos and the connection came from there. But what we did with it all, we took all the goodness from there because we had no choice. It didn't exist. We took the goodness from there and we put it over here in order to create a brand new organization. And, like I said, catalogs are important. You will never catch me working with anybody commercially that says catalogs are dead. It's the worst thing you can imagine, because, and let's just put that into perspective. It's not the catalog necessarily, it's your connection at the doorstep. It's that connection that is so magical. And with that connection, you can almost sell anything and be anything. It's so important. But the business today has a foundation of that connection. That's what we're about. We're connecting with people in the same way you have the spirit in here. But going forward, keeping that in its place and constantly reviewing that and helping it grow, because a doorstep connection is so important, we have to emphasize more than ever on the online side of the business. And that's going to be our magic. And we have this rock solid foundation, but then an online presence that I really want to do everything we possibly can to be the best out there, which is why we invested in, doesn't look like it yet, so much in this software system, which of the capability you haven't seen yet. It's created and built to be able to give you an individuality and presence out there in the world. And so the future, I have to say, you can plan 75% of the future, 25% is a dogfight. You don't know what the hell's going to happen. I have very different plans for this year. If you'd said to me, I'd be stood here in Scotland, I don't know where in Scotland I am, in lovely Scotland, with Lynn and a flashing hat, talking about a new business that's only just begun, I would have laughed you out the room. So 25% of business and life is so unpredictable. So I have a 75% plan with a 25% flexibility built in, because no one knows where we're going to go. But I'll tell you something, I am never, ever going to look back. Never going to look back. Never going to be negative about the past. It had its part, because that's what made me and made so many people in here. So it has its value. When I mean look back, never going to take steps back. This is only about going forward and going forward with good people. And that's what I want this business to be known as. Our products may not be unique. Our systems may not be unique, but our people are unique. And you will know that. For those of you who may have involved in other things as well. And that's not derogatory to anybody else. I've got no interest in anybody else's other organizations. I've got time for them. We'll never be destructive about them. But the presence in this business, of which the ethos we took from that business is so amazing, and it's not replicated anywhere. It really isn't. Honestly, it's that spirit and connection that will carry us forward. And that branding is all going to be about the genuine, unique people. So 75% plan, 25% flexibility built in, because I have no idea what's going to happen, but I do have a plan, and I'm so pleased that you're all part of it. And for all the people today involved, we have 5,000 people signed up. Okay, they're not all doing anything. I'll be honest with you, half
are ever connected. And it was always the same in all businesses. But you have to sometimes have that big number to have that many connected. But the point isn't whether they're connected or not. The fact is how many join to start with and how many still keep joining. That's down to spirit. That's down to connection and spirit, because we've got good people connected in the good way. So, you know, thank you for everybody, but thank you on a personal level as well. I won't forget that. I won't forget that on the days when, you know, I've got a habit of waking very early every morning. I wake up about 4:30 every single morning. But on the days when I didn't have any particular work to do, I know how I felt in those days when I know I couldn't even leave the room. Not because I had people chasing me outside, but because I didn't feel strong enough to do it. And it's on days like that that the encouragement from the people got me up, got me dressed, and made me show up. It was that encouragement that did it and nothing else. So thank you, everybody, and we've got a long way to go, but thank you.
Right, there's my wee remote control. Yeah. Oh wow, that was powerful. Thanks, Tom. You could open that. That was a wee book. A wee book on the door. It's very, very hot in here. The heat was on full blast when I came, and I put both radiators off. But it's just very hot. Michael, that was fantastic. Thanks so much for everything you've done and never losing belief in us, because we never lost belief in you. Right, I hate this when I get emotional. What have I got here? Oh, I know what I've got here. We've got one of our bronze premiers, only 16 in the holiday event. I hope I've got that figure right. What do I say about this wee woman? She's got a few names, wee Jane. I quite like it because it's the only instance where I'm Big Lynn. Big Lynn and wee Jane, because normally it's wee Lynn, but because I've got wee Jane, I'm actually Big Lynn. I've known Jane and Jim. Where is away for a pee? Where is he? He went out for a minute. For direction. Did you know you're talking? Yes. Jim, I've known Jim and Jane for, is it 19 years? Same as Tom and Kate. Long time in the business. And I almost feel like a carbon copy, because the same as what I said about Kate. Jane's always knew this is so emotional. She's always been there. She's always been there for me. She's always been there for the team. She's there for everybody, like Kate and Jane, both of you, the weddings, the webinars, everything, help and support is phenomenal. I don't know why I was emotional. Michael started off with that talk, and now I'm going on, but it's made me lose my voice. But me, Jane, you get what I think of you. You're a wee superstar. Jane, bronze premier, come and do your thing. She's a
Well, I have to thank two people today, only two to begin with, and you'll see why. Kate, for wanting a slot change, and Michael, and Lynn for getting upset before I come up here to speak. So thank you. Yes, so anyway, start with Kate. And yes, Jim went out, only because he hears me speaking every day. There's no need for him to say it. That's not entirely true. So what are we going to do? Well, what we are going to do is, let's get busy. And really, I think that's the best thing that all of us can do, because if we get busy, we show Michael that the pressure we're putting on him is not misplaced. By the same token, if we get busy, we make money. And, you know, that's what this is all about. Let's make money. Let's make money for everyone. So it's goals, and more goals, folks. And really, that's what it comes down to. First, though, what we do is set them without realizing that we actually are setting them. We want something, so we go for it. And then someone says, oh, that's called a goal. You think, really? Okay. But then through personal development, we come to understand what we need to do. And that's really important. But if you only listen to the other people in your business without reading the books, without listening to the lots and lots of audio that's out there, you will only grow to the level that the person that you're listening to, you'll only grow to their level. So read your own books, choose your own authors, listen to the audios. Unfortunately, I've still got tapes in my audio collection. And guess what? I've got a tape recorder. So listen to it. Don't be capped by what other people see or what other people know. Grow the vision for you. Starting anything is the difficult thing. It's making the first decision. That's always the hardest part. Now that doesn't, I was asked the other day by a lady who was cutting my hair. You have to be careful when someone's got a pair of scissors against your head. She says, what did my daughter do for my dissertation? She's doing criminal law. I said, and we chatted through a few topics. And I was really happy that she quite liked all of the topics because she's got this scissor and an open razor. I thought, ooh. But it doesn't matter if it's an essay, a dissertation, cooking a meal, anything. But once you've made the decision to do or what you want to do, then the rest of it is quite simple because you walk forward. And I'm sure Michael found that too when he made the decision to begin Viva MK. But what's your reason why? Well, in our last network, it was to replace one of our incomes. Both of us had decent incomes at that time. We had no children at home, so we had no disposable income. But we didn't like the way that we earned it. We didn't like the amount of time we had to spend on it. And we felt as we were growing older, and we thought we were old then. Don't let's even go there. But we thought we were old then. We just didn't want to keep earning it in that way. And we knew too that we weren't getting the quality of life that we wanted. And so we didn't want to lose any of it because like many other people we were skint when the kids were young. And we didn't want to go back to that. We wanted to have choices in our life. Now, I always knew that to have choices in your life, you had to work for it. No one was going to hand it on a plate. So we had to change. And these were some of the things that we have and still, or had and still have. It's what we like. This is not to say, oh look, all right for them. No, it's not. You can have it as well. If you make those choices and that's what grows you, then that's what you'll get. We like our garden. We've got a rather large garden. And please don't put this out to anyone other than Network Lynn. Because the reason we've got a large garden is because our son-in-law, the more garden we've got, the less ground that our son-in-law has to put rubbish on. I'll put that one in. So that's why we've got a big garden. But we also both like it. But what did we learn from reading the books and listening to the audios? Well, we learned that setting goals gave us long-term vision and short-term motivation, just the same as everyone else did. It helps us focus on knowledge. Some of the knowledge that we have, we don't know we have until we put it to use. It also helps us to organise our time and our resources. And organisation of time, when you have a lot of it, is really more important than organising your time. When you don't have a lot, it's much easier. And goals help you to sort out what's important in your life and what isn't. It's really very obvious when you're working your way towards something that you think you want, that once you're there, and it doesn't give you that wee surge of excitement inside you, that you think, well, it's time to go somewhere else. And I learned that too when I was working. I did bank exams, and I did it as a mature student, and I did it day release. So it wasn't always simple with 2 children and a home and a family and a job to run. And I also worked in an environment where people thought that women shouldn't do their bank exams, certainly shouldn't earn more money than men, and but that was normal. That wasn't unusual, it was normal, it was the time that it was. So I did my bank exams, And I did pass them. I wanted to get to a managerial position. Why? Because I got a cheap mortgage. That was my goal. I didn't know it was a goal. I knew I couldn't earn more money because there was a set scale, but I knew I could get a cheap mortgage. And a cheap mortgage at that time was 3%. Remember, the mortgage rates were running at 15% at that time. That was a good increase in income. So you see, we set goals that we didn't know that we were setting. And we also knew what was important. But I got to managerial level and I realised very quickly it was the people I liked. Most of the people anyway. Some of the customers that you had, you thought, there's a Royal Bank next door, would you like to go there? I'll take you, I'll introduce you, it's good. But, you know, but the majority of the time I really enjoyed it. But then once I got there, I thought, if I get any more advancement, then it's going to take me away from what I actually like. And so I left and I joined one of my customers who ran a tour operator business. And again, what I had exchanged was a title, financial director, and a lot of hassle. I got a lot of hassle in my previous job. I got a lot of hassle in this one. It was just different people, same hours. So we were ready to move on. But, you know, I found out very quickly what was important and what wasn't. And so you have to take control of your own life, even if it's just a very small part of it. We did a previous business after I finished work. I had to finish work early at 6 o'clock to go and do the work that we needed to do. I did it on my own every second week, gym work shifts. Did we take a bit of control? Yes, we did. Because not long after that, we got rid of one of the jobs, which was what we wanted. There we go. So yes, as Kate said earlier, you want focus. Follow one course until successful. It taught us to not chop and change though. If you're on a system, work the system. Don't go all over the place. We have an excellent system in Linsview. Work it, don't change it. Major things, yes, we can tweak it, but really it doesn't need any tweaking. The reason it is excellent is because we took 19 years to get to there. We started with a good system, we've got a better one now, just work it. But what do you also need? You need other ingredients, you see. It's not just about goals. You need to believe in yourself. And you need to do that from day one. The people in this room will believe in you, as Janet has already found out. But you know, you have to have a degree of belief in yourself. You have to be enthusiastic. That's really important. Enthusiastic for what you're involved in and yourself. Longevity. Oh, it didn't work last week, I'm not doing it next week. Okay, fine. That's not going to work ever. You wouldn't start a job today and stop tomorrow. Well, maybe some people would, but that's not going to get you anywhere. And you need to have excitement. Excitement in what you're doing and where you're going. See where you're going. And you need to be interested. You need to be interested in how your company's growing and be able to have input, albeit Michael might not always listen to your input, but guess what? He's probably the only managing director in any company that will actually respond to the input. Don't misuse it, but be aware that it's there. And you have to have faith in your abilities. Where does the belief come from? As I said, hearing the success stories from people round about you. So the meetings are really important. You will hear them on the webinars, you will see them on the Zoom calls, but meeting is really, really important. Watching and copying other successful people round about you. Janet did £2,900 of retail last month. Woo! If Janet can do it, I do disrespect, so too can other people.
Yes.
That's the whole thing. Listen to the stories. Lynn got gold premier in 1 month. I wonder if we can do that.
Yes, we can.
And reading, and listening to a variety of writers and speakers. And there's two of the books that I like. Dare to Dream and Work to Win kept me going while I was working. I played it on the car in a loop every morning, every night. It was great. But what do you need as well as your belief? Well, you can have the right attitude, and that is always helpful. You do need a positive attitude. You can have a negative if you wish, but try to keep it for a very short period of time. If your negative attitude is going to take a day or longer to get over, then the only person that you're upsetting is you. Sorry. Thank you. But you can also have a right attitude. Now, sometimes I have a right attitude, but I'm sure Jim would agree that I don't really do that, not at all. I do sometimes type on the email, and I think, oh, best delete that. But do remember, folks, you've got a delete button, you can type it, it'll make you feel better, but backspace it, don't send it. And it's true. If you've got a flat tyre, well, where can you go? Gosh, not very far. Although, Jim and I were out, we were down in the other side of Keswick, and I was pleased it was Jim that got the flat tyre, but we had to walk. If it had been me, I would have been told that I hadn't pumped up. If it had been me, well, I might have got moaned at. And you know, wifely support, I walked all the way back, 4 miles with him, pushing a bike. Yes, made you make a face, Michael. Jim even said to me later on, I don't think I would have done that. I thought, well, I won't in future. Thank you. Things did change in 2018. Things that we took for granted disappeared. And it just lets you see, don't take them for granted. We've got a good vehicle. Appreciate the good vehicle and use the vehicle in whatever way you want to. But we couldn't rely on the things that we had relied on, so we had to change. Our goals changed. They had to change. Otherwise, we stand still. And life's not about standing still. But we had a team of people who also needed to respond to those changes. And we all had different skills. So we build those skills. Other people said, oh, that's the company gone, oh, well, bye. No, that's the company gone, right, okay, let's go on with this and see what we can do. How can we get everybody else in a position that they need to be in? So we continued with, as Kate said earlier, we did the weekly webinars. We covered whatever topics people wanted to cover. Lynn used to say, there are some things I can't tell you, and she would talk. So then she didn't tell me, but I assumed. And then I told other people those assumptions. Of course you do. Our team was really important. And let's face it, without our team and everybody else's team, Viva MK wouldn't be here today. They wouldn't. So I make no apologies for the assumptions. But we found a way to adapt to the changes together, and it was very much together. We ironed out any problems that arose, things that occurred on a daily basis. We just talked them through, we ironed them out. We addressed any difficulties, painful as they may have been. I did have my positive head on all of the time, not even some of the time, all of the time. I looked for the positive side of it, because what was the point in looking at anything else? We had to figure out where we could go. And we use logic. I like logic. You can't become a bank manager if you don't use logic. So I like the logic. It's pretty much like engineering background. You need the logic. Some things didn't seem logical, but we used logic anyway to work our way through them. And we did work all together. We did include, Kate and I didn't just work with our teams, we included other people from outside our teams, because we knew that they were facing the same difficulties as we were, and we were happy to do that. really happy. We were still a team, and we were also friends. We came out the other side as friends and still as a team. And that is so, so important. The goals change, your goals have to change with your circumstances. But, you know, without care and attention, your goals can dwindle away and you're not left with this goal that you originally started with. So sometimes you have to revisit those goals, see why you've reduced them, and maybe just bump them up again. Don't let the dwindling happening. Keep reading, keep listening. That's where the positive bit comes from. Be aware. If you've got a team or you want a team, listen to them. Their circumstances change just as quickly as they did earlier this year. And you can't respond and show how they can get round those difficulties that they're encountering if you don't know anything about them. So talk to your team. That's important. But we did have an unwavering belief. I knew that it was too good a business to disappear. There was nothing else there to replace it. It had to start back up again. The question was when? And in actual fact, I was so surprised it took so long. I mean that no disrespectful way. I just didn't think there was any doubt that it would begin. And it had to be a let's get it done attitude. So, as you can see, we all did it, and congratulations, absolutely everybody, everybody. Team White Rhinos is part of Lynn's 18 Rhino group. Now, can I explain here, because I always have the cringe factor. We called it White Rhinos because it was another kind of rhino, not because our name was white. That was just something that happened. And we take, yeah. Could have a drink of water, sorry. Do you need lots and lots of people to become bronze tenure? No, you don't. We've got 28 distributors in the group, 14 of them are active, 11 are inactive, and 2 are very new. But we have 9, and out of those 14 distributors, we have 9 staff. And thank you very much for doing that. Because at the end of the day, you went out, you did the work, we got bronze tenure, but we are only at that level because you got to where you wanted to be first of all, so thank you. And to have 3 people out of that 14 people to get to over £1,000 worth of retail. My goodness. One chap who couldn't be here today did £1,797. Harry, thank you. But that was last month. So, this is a new month. And guess what? We're at the 13th of it. So if you have 19 days last month, you've got less than that this month. So we better get our skates on. So set goals. There's no point in us being retired, but if you don't have the money to enjoy it, there's no point in having time without money. I don't mean that way. Other people don't need exactly the same, but when you're retired and you have time and you go out, you go shopping, you might want to, it doesn't matter what you want the choice. But review your goals regularly and adjust them to the changing conditions that you are in. Tell people your goals. Yes, people might have been Janet, sorry about that, but tell people your goals. They're much, much more powerful when you've told someone your goals. And you know something else? We can't help you if we don't know what you want from. There's absolutely nothing. I could be telling you completely the opposite to what you actually want. So tell us what you want. But in amongst those goals, you need to have a large dollop of belief. It needs to be there. It just doesn't work without it. It's like using plain flour and no raising agent. That doesn't work. And you need to have enough for you and your team all the time every day. Instead of eggs, use attitude, but the right attitude, not a right attitude, and we'll get absolutely everything that we are prepared to work for. And may I wish you all the very, very best.
Just before JJ's going to introduce me, so I didn't have to introduce myself. Just before we go on the last speaker, it happens to be me today. Michael, she was trying to take a picture and not put her on. I don't know what you were anything, I'll tell everybody. Now distracted me because he was being silly at the back. I just wanted to point out that in the 18 Rhino group, there were, I think in total now, £12,000 silver star certificates, which is absolutely fantastic. But I think between Kate and Jane, I think there's 7 out of the 12, which is really fantastic. So after the main meeting, please speak to Jane, Kate, find out how they're helping, how they're teaching, how they're training their team to make money, because that is what the business is all about, is getting money in their pocket. It's a fantastic achievement to be the MK Stars. I'm delighted to have 90 and 89 group. And remember, everybody on these higher levels are also stars if they retailed, because most of them did actually retail, and they never got their star, Michael. The premiers and the buses and all that. Just kidding. But they are stars because they've done the retail. But I just wanted to really point that out. That is a lot of high retailers and just 2 teams. They're a big team, you know, that turned over 65,000. So please take advantage of talking to Jane, Kate, Tom, and Jim, who's speaking up at the back getting sweets.
Hey, I'm going to. Lynn's going away. Well, I am going to introduce Lynn now, and we will be emotional because we did. Kate and I decided that Tom and Kate and Jim and I would get some things for Lynn. We have known Lynn a long time, an awful long time. We don't always agree with Lynn.
Not very often,
no. And sometimes she will say to me on the phone, I know she won't say this to Kate because Kate's much kinder. Jane, I don't like you saying that. I don't like saying that. And I say, well, I don't care because at that particular moment sometimes I don't care.
But she does come back and apologise later.
I do. But we have known Lynn a long, long time. Lynn will do anything for any one of us. And does often. It's been good being with you for the previous whatever, and it will be great being with you in the future as well. And I am so chuffed, as is everybody else, that you were recognised at Gold Premier level.
Thanks so much, Jane, Kate, Tom. I'm taking the price off them, like £45 far too much. What a phenomenal day. I'm not emotional because I'm quite good at holding it in. Oops, that's me. That level's there only because of the team. That is it. It's teamwork. You've seen the amazing team. Get a wee eye there. You've seen the amazing team that we've got today. It's phenomenal, and the future is going to be absolutely massive. I will be honest, I've changed my training a couple of times, partly because of my experience of The Exorcist on Thursday. If somebody actually told me they'd never seen The Exorcist, who said they'd never seen The Exorcist? I've not seen it, I wasn't even there. It's the woman's head twist, Kate, and she vomits all the way around the tissue. The vomit was everywhere. I didn't really want to explain that, to be fair. Okay. But you never say that. But I mean, I actually had my training all done. I was calling it train. to teach, you end up on the beach. I'm still going to talk about that because you know that what I'm doing at the minute is I'm doing a lot of trainings all over the country. It's teaching business. And if you teach to teach, you will end up on the beach and so will your team. But what actually happened is, you know, when you're in the middle of doing a training and you become ill halfway through it, and then you don't save it to your PC, and you don't really discover until about 8 o'clock last night when you're still getting over your exorcist experience. So it's a little bit mishmash, but what I did try to do is put things that I felt that was important. And I think today has proven there's a lot of people in this room that never, ever, ever gave up. It just wasn't an option. I'm just going to talk very briefly. I'm not going to go into my background. You know, I was in Clean Easy for 26 years. The Clean Easy business, I believed in the business 100%. I believed in the Clean Easy business. I believed in the concept. I loved the business. It was my life. My children were brought up in it. My grandchildren know anymore. They don't know anything else, and they actually give me a round. Remember earlier by accident I said Clean Easy? They'll go, Grandma, it's Viva MK now. They've been brought up in it. They've known nothing else. They've been doing catalogues with me door to door. That my kids came to opportunity meetings. The business was a passion. There was no way that I could ever believe that it would never, ever come back again because of loads of different reasons. But that one there, it's unique. The concept of Viva MK is unique. There's no other network that can compare. And yeah, I was approached to join another network, and I categorically, my choice, did not want to do network marketing. I was not in network marketing. I was in relationship marketing. That's what we're in. The relationship we have as a team, I don't think you can get that anywhere else. But what kept us here? Why are we here today? It's this, it's the relationship we have with our customers. The reason that Kate and Jane and Tracy and other people did it as well, we got flyers, we got products, and we got products to take to door with the catalogues, was because the customers were crying out for us to come back. For wanting us here, we're in a relationship marketing business, and we had people sitting with hundreds and hundreds of customers waiting to be serviced. That's unique. That's unique, and we just wanted our team to make money until Michael did what he did. That was what we did. So Michael does what he does, whatever they're doing, we just have to make money until Viva MK comes. We thought it might have been Clean Easy, and we were a bit devastated to lose the name. But then afterwards, because I've been very good, although I've been a little bit emotional today, I didn't cry over anything that's happened, because if you stop to cry, you can't fight. That was what my mum taught me. If you stop to cry, you can't fight, so I have to keep going. But I did nearly break down when they lost the name, and Michael says it'll just be for a while, and it's just going to be a little bit different. It's not okay, it's my Clean Easy, my forever Clean Easy, but I think he was just playing the words there. But I was devastated, and in the way I pulled myself together, I said, well, wait a minute, people call us Kleenex, or Clean Easy, C-L-E-N Easy, so you know the name is nothing, it's the business that's important, and I love the new name now. No, nearly there. I'm kidding. I love the new name, but I'll just quickly, we did, a wee bit ahead in my slides, is that, but we were wanting to just help the team make money. The team pulled together, they were sourcing products online, you've heard it all before, so I'm just going to rush through this part. Keep the groups active, printed off catalogues, kept the team spirit going, everybody informed. You've seen this. I don't need to do a training anymore. Kidding, this is only the first couple of minutes, I just thought. And then meet Tracy Hansen, you heard what Tracy did, she took that essentials, she went and spoke to Michael Lords, and we took it a stage further, and we sourced this amazing catalogue that we didn't get to print, but we weren't bothered about it going to print, because we were delighted when we were told, don't take it to print. That was the best words we'd ever heard. Don't take it to print, because that meant that we're going to have Viva MK. Now, I wasn't going to cover this, and some of you have seen it before, that we spoke about this. I think this is probably the best time to talk about the Chinese bamboo story. Sorry, the Chinese bamboo seeds. Jane, I know that you've not got any germs, so I'll show you water. Sorry. Folks, I did this training a couple of years ago, I can't remember where, I can't remember which company, whose team, But now I think that because we're brand new, BVNK is a seed, isn't it? It's a seed that's going to take time to grow. And this is the story about the Chinese bamboo, and I'm going to try and go through it quickly because it's quite a long story. But it all begins with a seed and the vision of someone willing to wait. A Chinese farmer, usually struggling to survive and provide for his family, plants the seed, sets his hope and vision, and all it will provide when it towers 90 feet above his head. With a heart towards the future, he digs hole after hole, plants the seeds, then begins their care. Day after day, he carries water to the spots that he's marked. And because it's human nature to want to see the results, you've got to think about this and compare it to the business. He carefully inspects the spots every day. I wonder if they've put the catalogues out yet. I wonder if they've done their online shop yet. Nothing. Knowing he has to feed his family, he plants other crops carefully sown around the spots that contain the real hope for his future. These bamboo contain the whole future. He continues to water them every day, feeding them carefully and watching. Nothing. The other crops sprout within weeks, providing nourishment for his family, but provide nothing for the future. It's instant gratification. There's nothing there for the future. The Chinese bamboo seed contains all his hopes, his dreams. A whole year goes by, nothing. His hopes and dreams so very far. Now, by the way, we won't take 5 years. Bamboo takes 5 years. I had to point that out because I'm thinking, don't want the audience to think it's good. This is just an analogy. His hopes, his dreams seem so far away. He stares endlessly at the spots but sees nothing but barren ground. Has it died before it ever had a chance to grow? There's no evidence of life. We've said that for our team, haven't we, sometimes? We have though. I didn't mean that bad. I don't have. Is there evidence of life there? Has the seed rotted? Another year goes by, nothing. His neighbours, those who don't believe and know the miracle of the Chinese bamboo, laugh at him. But I had friends, really, really, really good friends that I love dearly, who said, Lynn, don't you think you should give up? Don't you think you should go look for something else? Don't you think your heart's full in your head? And somebody even said to me, Lynn, it's like a love affair. It breaks your heart, but you have to go over it and you have to move on. That's what they weren't laughing. My friends are beautiful. They'd never laugh at me. But to me, that's the kind of advice we were getting when we were waiting on BVNK. He began to question himself. I didn't. No shadow of a doubt. Is he pouring water and his life's energy into something that will reap no rewards for him? Another year goes by. Nothing. 3 years of pouring water, energy, and hope into the Chinese bamboo. Nothing to show for it. Yet he's heard of the miracle of the Chinese bamboo. He's heard of the huge rewards that come to those who wait. He sighs and he hauls yet one more bucket of water. Another year goes by. Nothing. Until I'm not take 5 years. Just that's only what I don't want you to take. 4 years. 4 years of hoping, 4 years of wishing, diligently tending his dream. Surely the miracle's going to happen now. His neighbours have stopped laughing. They no longer care. They just talk about the crazy man at the end of the street, the farmer who's not quite right. Yet he's fallen so into the habit, he continues to water the spots. He continues to feed them. Another year passes. Nothing. 5 years, nothing. The farmer's tired. Tired of hauling buckets. Tired of trying to keep his dream alive, tired to growing and tending to so many crops and struggling to feed his family, tired of seeing no results day after day. He stares hopelessly at the spots. He must have watered them wrong. He must not have fed them correctly. If only he'd done things differently, there'd be growth. Despair rocks his soul. 5 years he's poured into this dream, into his hope for a better future. The vision of a better life for his family melts away under the harsh reality. Tears fills his eyes as he grabs for the last hope residing in his soul and slowly lifts the bucket to pour the water on his dream. Never give up in his dream. After 5 years, he realises it'd be folly to give up now. Then comes the morning when the whole village is jolted awake with cries of joy for the farmer. From the edge of the road, they can see the green sprouts thrusting from out the barren ground. They seem to be growing before their eyes. The farmer is dancing, and you've plenty of rain out there if you want to dance in the rain. The spots become the place for everybody in the village to come watching in amazement as the bamboo grows and grows and grows. The spots become, oops, that should go back. The spots become the place for everybody in the village to come. And that should have a video in there, but maybe it doesn't. It's maybe the next one. That should have a video in there. Why is it not working? 5 feet, it goes to 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet, 70 feet, 80 feet, 90 feet, in a matter of hours. He learned to plant a dream. He learned to do the daily things that would make it a reality. He learned to ignore those who said it can't happen. How many of us have been told that before? Were you told that, Michael?
Yeah.
Did everybody tell you give up? Do you give up? Excuse me. Sorry about that. He learned to push past his own fears and doubts, which he had many of them, and he learned to have faith when there was no reason to have faith. Now he smiles every time he walks through the village. Everyone is hauling their buckets of water to their spots because they've seen his success. You see the parallels. Oops, keep forgetting to point it out. Oops, it does do that sometimes. Gazing over his towering 90 feet tall bamboo, they know what can happen. Oops, there are slides missing. What about you? What are your dreams? How long are you willing to push past your fear and your doubt to achieve what you want? How much faith and belief are you willing to have in the business to achieve your goals? And how long are you willing to take the action? Now, I know today by looking at the audience that 90% of you have been in the business and are putting that and doing what you need to do. So this is the wider audience for the new people, really, because I know there's a lot of people here that are pushing past us to get what they want. What are you willing to do to make your dreams come true? I hope the answer is one that will help you achieve your dreams in life. So I'm just going to quickly talk about persistence. It's not allowing anything to stop you from doing an activity. Even once you start, unless it's something really severe, that is death. The only excuse is death for not doing your activities. Just kidding. If you only become persistent when you feel good about something, you've got to start dropping one or more of your activities when you're in your next downtime. So you've got to keep going no matter how you feel. You don't have to be feeling good if you're doing that particular activity. Let me smile, Matty.
You just can't off, was he?
Yeah, but when you get to my age, Michael, you get a picture that you're horrible faces. Like, you don't have to be feeling good when you're doing that activity. Persistence is going against the obstacles, your emotions, talking to you here, Michael, and accomplishing your tasks under any conditions. That's what we all did. That's what we all did, and that's why you can maybe see why I decided to do the Chinese bamboo story. Want to be persistent but waiting for your mood to stabilise will be like waiting for the wind to calm so you can sail. You have to keep going. It might calm down, the wind might calm down, but then it's too late. Life is life. Well, there, I've realised this. You'll face times when you find yourself not in the mood for anything. Who knows when I first did this training that I would be doing it today because it's so relative today. If you stop working whenever you felt bad, then you'll never reach your goals. To summarise, go against your emotions and obstacles and instead of waiting for them to move away for you. I know that sometimes will be out of your control. But not exercising because you couldn't find your training shoes, that's not really being persistent. So making up excuses for not doing the jobs that you need to do is not being persistent. It's an acquired skill, by the way. I know it sounds like it's just a natural gift, but persistence is an acquired skill. Simply by practicing, you will become persistent. And believe it or not, that is true. It's a habit-forming business. 21 days, something becomes a habit. But I say there, if you keep dropping certain activities, you'll end up dropping bigger activities because the smaller obstacles, if that makes sense, so you just go downhill. So how to be persistent? Eek. Ask Michael and all of us who've held on for 6 months. Holding on even if you feel like quitting. In other words, move on with disregard to emotions. Keep your goal in sight. If you can, I remember me saying actually that I never cried because I had to keep controlling my emotions because I needed to fight. I had to fight. Keep your goal in sight. If you can't visualize your reward, then you won't be motivated to keep going. Don't ignore the small tasks. It's a small task. Be persistent in doing them because it's a small task that leads to the results. Jim Rohn, my favourite mentor, one of my favourite sayings, success, a few simple disciplines, practice daily, accumulated over a period of time. So be flexible, don't keep punching the wall. And what they mean by that, the author of this, it's like don't get frustrated, frustrations are going to happen. And be confident. The main reason persistent people keep trying is they're confident that one day they'll achieve the goals. Did you believe you were going to achieve that goal? I believed it. We all believed it, really. I was reading away in 6 months, but we believed that goal was going to be achieved, and that's important. And the bottom one says, be confident. The main, I don't know what the bottom one says, it's off the bottom of my screen there, but. And I'm going to finish there, I just want to finish with that slide. I'm not going to do the further slides, we're running a wee bit out of time. And I'm delighted with the trainings today and everything that everybody's provided. But I did want to talk about teach to teach, and the only thing I just want to go back to is what I spoke about at the beginning of my training, about these £1,000 retail certificates. We done it, we have 2,000, nearly 2,800 Oh, 906. Jana, I'll really have to have a chat with you. That's amazing. That's phenomenal. You know, I call this business an experiential learning business. We learn by experience. We learn by doing it. If you want your team to retail £1,000 with the catalogues, you retail £1,000 with the catalogues and show them by leading from the front. If you want your team to do £1,000 online, well done Frank, well done Louise and others that are doing it, to do that selling online, then you need to lead the front to do it. And I love this. Scott, you're a school teacher, don't you think that's so clever? That is so clever. Look, it says teach and the reflection is learn. You need to know it to show it. And if you want to grow your business, your team needs to be making money. So it starts with you making the money from these catalogues, from the online, and then teaching them how to grow and develop a business from there. That's where I'm going to finish. And first of all, I want to say thanks so much for today, but I'll be quiet for a minute so I can get me quiet. It's unusual because normally we have different people introducing, but today, because my gang were actually speaking, I've been doing most of the introducing, but normally we take these turns in it. But have you all had a brilliant day? Yes. Can you all be really noisy because it wakens you up? I know the room's really hot. I think the door's open, there's no heating on, and we're melting in Scotland. We're melting in Scotland. Let's make a big noise just to say well done everybody, and then we'll do some recognition. I'm going to recognise our helpers. So just come up. Somebody else will need to take a photo. Jane White helped a lot with my exorcist experience. Kate helped a lot with shredding my exorcist. Frank, you've been great helping with that. Come up, Matthew, with the music. We will miss out. Thank you, guys. Well done, guys. Thanks so much for your help. And I will say that all of them mostly stepped in at the last minute, especially Frank, who only knew what he was doing last night, and Matthew, who I did speak to him about it last week, but he only finalised a couple of days ago.
You only finalised it this morning.
Matthew! He's such a bad boy, isn't he? Doing that. Now, I will admit, Like this wee bag here, there's a wee story, but I'll tell you in a minute, because Michael's going to look really weird getting a pink sparkly bag.
This is the man who earlier this week was waving a magic wand.
I've seen the picture of my tiara. I couldn't decide whether I showed the Amarillo video or the picture with the tiara. You got little food. You got little food, sunshine. Right, thank you, Frank. Star. You're a star. You've got a star there. You see, you deserve it. Right. Today wouldn't happen without our wonderful speakers. So first of all, it wouldn't happen without the audience. So first of all, thanks to everybody who's took time out today to come along. It's the first VMK Millionaires. It's the first for many. We will be having them down south. We will be having them in Ireland. But we've been having them in Scotland a long time. So this is why we just kicked off here. I want to thank so much the speakers. Now, I've got teetotalers. I've got people that can't take drink because they're in an aeroplane. So I have to get loads of different gifts. So I'm going to start off in the order of speaking, if I can remember that, because I'm really, I've got to remember what yours is. This one, Janet. Janet Lyle! You're such a superstar, Matthew. And who else was getting sweets for the dinner drink? Irene Kate, Kate Ford! Right. Well, James formed a wee blessed of two. Jane White! And this is the wee Prosecco. I wonder who that could be for the wee Bennett. Right, the reason for the sparky bag. This with my granddaughter. And there's a lovely note right on the side of the camera for you, like you. And the paper that I bought, I didn't buy enough, so Michael Cat, can you do sparkle roll? Come and get your wee prize. I want to pass the music up, Tom.
Not yet. Yeah, take a picture.
Use your top down.
Feel like a yo-yo. There we go.
Right, one other thing we'd like to do is we have somebody who's asked to just come up at the end just to give you a wee token. And Tracy, would you like to just come up, please?
Rising up life, and this will hopefully give you a good memory of some of the times.
Is the music going to be loud? I think it's magic. I love it, Tracy. Thank you so much. Now let's give a point because let the party begin. We're going to be here by 5. Oh no, that's a real shame. I really, that's a real shame. Let's cheer, everybody. We have the champions.
Don't say it anyway, just stop it.
All right, I just,
Stop
like,
the recording.
yes, and then when you close the meeting,